Good day everyone and hello future agent. A contact center job is interesting and stable. You can earn decent amount of money as a newbie in the industry and you have a potential to earn 6-digit salary if you survive and thrive with the job's demand. I am Teacher T and I'm here to help you equip yourself with the knowledge, skills, and the right attitude of a contact center employee. So you will be ready when the right opportunity comes along. Welcome to TLE with Teacher T, making life easy. In our first episode, we discussed personal entrepreneurial competencies. I would like to follow up on your personal entrepreneurial competencies improvement plan. How is it going?
How about our second episode, where we began our journey on learning how to communicate effectively in English? Do you still remember the communication pathways and the elements of communication we talked about? What about the communication barriers and phonemes we spoke of in the third episode?
If you missed any of our episodes, you can always get back to them on the IBC13 Facebook page or on DepEd TV official YouTube channel. Right now, it's time to learn more about how to communicate effectively in English. Episode 4, Sentence Construction and Listening Skills.
Phonemes are the smallest unit of speech,
Similar to a single letter, vowel, or consonant.
Phonemes that are joined together create words, the words that are then combined to form sentences that express a complete thought.
Learning the phonemes will help you in pronunciation practice. But you are not limited to phonemes. Listening to native speakers is a great way to improve your pronunciation skills as well. You can do that by utilizing the internet. My personal practice, aside from reading out loud, is
listening to radio shows that use English as their main language, watching TV channels or programs in English, watching English tutorials on YouTube, and my favorite one is listening to podcasts because I can do it even while I'm doing other activities.
another concern that you have to deal with aside from pronunciation if you want to communicate effectively in English is
the ability to express your thoughts in an understandable manner so that you can address your customers' needs accurately.
In this episode, you will learn how to construct grammatically correct and well-formed sentences.
Examine these statements. Statement A, comes to work late. Statement B, the agent neglected to explain what happened. What have you observed? Statement A does not express a complete thought. Therefore, it is not a sentence but a fragment. To correct this statement, we will have to include a subject. A subject is a noun or its substitute, like Joe or he. So, combining the subject Joe or he and the predicate comes to work late, we will have a sentence that expresses a complete thought, like Joe comes to work late, or he comes to work late.
Do we need to correct statement B? I do not think so as well. We are just going to leave it that way because it already has a subject and a predicate. Hence, it is already a sentence that expresses a complete thought.
As in, the agent, subject, neglected to explain what happened, predicate. In these examples, we can conclude that one factor for grammaticality of a sentence can be based on its completeness.
From our examples, we can see that constructing sentences is governed by rules. Let us dig deeper and learn the other factors in constructing sentences.
Read this statement. Complained delivery the customer late the.
Does this statement make sense? I bet no. This sentence does not express a complete thought. It is ungrammatical because it does not follow the correct English word order.
The linear word order for the English language is subject, verb, object. This word order is most commonly used for declarative sentences, so the corrected sentence for the given example would be read, the customer complained about the late delivery. From this example, we can see that grammaticality is judged based on the word order in a sentence.
There are other word order patterns you will encounter once we get into the topic of constructing simple sentences in a deeper way. The complexity of this subject can be made easy if we take one bit of information at a time and master it through practice.
Like the subject plus intransitive verb. Examples: the number of call center agents rises. Some call centers may close. Here, the verbs rises and may close are intransitive. Intransitive means they do not need an object to complete their meaning. The subject plus transitive verb plus direct object plus object complement. Example: he found the interview easy. Object complement easy describes direct object interview. The subject plus linking verb plus subject complement. Example: the hiring process is fast. The linking verb is connects the subject to its complement, while the subject complement describes or renames the subject. The subject plus transitive verb plus indirect object plus direct object. Example: the company provided agents a sleeping quarter. Agents, the indirect object indicates to whom the verb's action was done. Now, would you get a pen and paper for this challenge? You may want to post your output on Facebook using the hashtag TLE with Teacher T, making life easy. Could you write down sentences of different pattern out of these words or phrases? I'm giving you 60 seconds to write as many sentences possible you can create using different types of word order patterns. Your timer starts now. Now, please post your sentences on social media using the hashtag TLE with Teacher T, making life easy.
Some words can be put together while some words, if combined, may make a sentence ungrammatical. For example, the speak is not a correct word combination because the articles a, an, and the cannot be used before a verb. Articles are placed before nouns and gerunds. A gerund is a noun made up of a verb in the ing form. A good example would be, the training has been postponed. The word training in the sentence is an example of gerund. It is also necessary to keep in mind the distinction between adjectives and adverbs. Adjectives modify nouns or pronouns. Descriptive adjectives should come before a noun or pronoun. For example, exciting job, irate caller. Adverbs modify verbs, adjectives, and adverbs. For example, fluently speak, really grateful. Check this sentence out. A responsible CSR calm handled the call. The sentence structure is ungrammatical. The word calm, which is an adjective, should not be used before the word handled, which is a verb. A verb should be modified by an adverb. The word calm should be replaced by the word calmly, which is an adverb. To make the sentence grammatical, it would be, a responsible CSR calmly handled the call. Let us practice. You would need a pen and paper to copy these sentences. I'll give you 30 seconds to copy the sentences, then we will start.
This practice exercise can be found in your TLE 10 Contact Center Services module on page 71. It is labeled Task 5, Grammatical or Ungrammatical. All you have to do is determine whether the sentence in each number is grammatical or ungrammatical. Draw a smiley next to the sentence if the sentence is grammatical. Otherwise, draw a sad face and choose the principle of grammaticality that was violated. Ready? Here are the sentences. Number 1. I received the order wrong. Number 2. The agent helpful. Number 3. The call was short yet meaningful. Number 4. An event ends today. Number 5. Promo code invalid.
Your 30 seconds start now. Time's up! Let us check if you got correct answers. Number 1 is word order is violated. Number 2 is completeness is violated. Number 3 is nothing is violated. Number 4 is nothing is violated. And number 5 is completeness is violated. I'm hoping that you got the correct answers for all the 5 items. But if you feel you are still confused, you can watch this episode again on the official YouTube channel of DepEd TV. Just type DepEd TV Official in the YouTube search bar. After watching it again on YouTube and you still do not get it, then there must be a problem. It might be because I did not explain it well. Did I? Or you have been distracted because of the communication barriers like noise, or maybe you were not paying attention, were you? Understanding this lesson is as important as understanding your customers in contact centers. For you to be able to do it, you must learn to listen with undivided attention, like what we have learned about preventing noise in the previous episode. Listening is different from hearing. Hearing is an unconscious process. It is the act of perceiving the sound using the ear. Listening, on the other hand, is a conscious process that requires concentration so that you can process the meaning of the words and sentences being said. It is one of the most important skills a person can have. Dr. Stephen R. Covey said, most people do not listen with the intent to understand. They listen with the intent to reply. I myself fall into this trap of worrying too much about how am I going to reply in a certain conversation. And in those times, I usually mess up because my attention is divided. So what are the best practices for listening? Here they are. Number 1, pay attention when engaged in a telephone conversation with a customer. You must give him or her your undivided attention. Clicking your pen or communicating with your coworker will not help you understand the concerns of your customer. Number 2, assure the other party that you are listening. Since you cannot give your occasional nod or smile to your customer on the other end of the telephone conversation, your small verbal comments such as yes or will assure them that you are listening. Number 3, provide feedback. Restating what you heard and asking clarification questions are forms of feedback. You can say, what I'm hearing is, or let me just repeat that to restate what the customer just said, while statements such as, is this what you mean, will help you clarify what you have heard. Number 4, defer judgment. Interrupting will only lead to frustration. Let the customer finish his statement before you comment or clarify. Interrupting can send the following messages. I'm more important than you are. My ideas are better than yours. I don't really care what you think. Stop talking and listen to me.
Hence, interrupting is not encouraged in any type of communication. Number 5. Respond appropriately. Always remember to be polite and understanding when listening. Criticizing the other party's ideas will not help. Acknowledge his or her concerns and assert your opinions politely. More so, be honest in your responses.
Summarizing what we learned today about listening, the best practices are: number 1, pay attention. Number 2, assure the other party that you are listening. Number 3, provide feedback. Number 4, defer judgment. And number 5, respond appropriately. Are you still up for a challenge? I would that you do a task in your TLE10 contact center services on page 74.
Task 1. Acrostic. An acrostic is a series of lines or verses in which the first letter, when taken in order, spell out a word or phrase. Using the letters of the word listen, create an acrostic about tips on how to be an active listener. Post your acrostic on your Facebook page using the hashtag #TeacherT_LifeEasy. I will pick the best acrostics and feature you and your acrostic in the next episode. So grab your TLE10 learning module or copy this. This is an example of acrostic that I created for your reference. Listen with an intention to understand. Do not speak nor think of your reply while someone is expressing his or her thoughts, and nod when you agree to let the other person know that you are listening. Creating your own acrostic will help you remember and apply listening skills to your conversation. Excellent customer service and contact center is also built upon the principle of effective listening. Because when you listen, you understand. And being understood is an emotional need of everyone. Most importantly, of your customer. You don't even have to respond sometimes. Just listen and your customer will give you a satisfactory rating.
And that's it for our sentence construction and listening skills lesson in our Communicate Effectively in English series. This is the 4th episode of TLE, Making Life Easy. Once again, this is Teacher T saying, never stop preparing or life never stops demanding. See you!